high performance coach, a new money story mentor, and a new wellness story mentor, and your expert guide to leading a happy life. And this is and we're going to start out saying Happy New Year to you, even though we said it last time, but we want to go into 2017 and really make it our best year ever. Don't you, Nana?
True. Happy 2017.
So today we're going to talk about 4 tips on how to manage your states. Now, what does manage your state mean? It means managing your emotions and how they play a part in your day-to-day interactions with others. Because if you can learn to manage your states, it'll put you in the top % of people who can create a happier life, because you kind of sidestep a lot of the situations that you might grenade yourself. And the reason I brought this up today is I noticed over the holidays with some of my clients that they really had a hard time, and they were really struggling with what we're talking about, how to manage their states. Have you ever had any problems managing your states, Nana? And let's be honest.
Oh, yes. Sometimes my big mouth gets in the way.
Well, what would have triggered you? Let's just give me an example, and don't get too lengthy on this. Just what would have triggered you where you let your emotions get out of control?
Well, actually, it's from my husband right now. He doesn't hear very well, but he says he does. And luckily I can hear a pin drop. And then he'll say something and he says he doesn't. And then I think, oh, I've got to hold my temper and just go along with him.
Good. Okay, so that's an example. So jumping into our tips, because we've all had those situations. We've all been there where something's aggravating us and we begin to get emotional. So tip number 1 is stay present. And staying present means staying right in the present moment and not rewinding in your mind to a situation where you were upset, or fast forwarding in your mind to an outcome. Just stay right in the present.
True.
Right? And the next thing to do, and this is the most important, is control your thoughts. If you can control your thoughts and keep them positive and delete the negative thoughts, and this is a skill you have to develop, right? You cannot, it's so hard. Do you ever, I've never really seen you struggle with negative thoughts. Do you ever struggle with negative thoughts?
Not really. Not that I can think of at the moment.
You are so lucky, because in the generation of people today, it's a constant battle for them, these negative thought loops they get trapped in.
Oh, true.
You've never had those?
Well, probably, but offhand now I can't remember.
Well, actually, I've known you my whole life almost, and I've never seen you struggle with that. So that is a blessing. I, however, did struggle with negative thought loops, especially when I was younger, and they would just creep in on me. And thanks to all of my teachers and mentors, I have been able to eradicate most of my negative thought loops, but it's still a battle. So if something comes up and it's a negative, not self-serving thought, I just press delete. And I just had to do this the other day. I could feel my emotions kind of welling up in me, and there was absolutely no reason. I was all by myself. I was thinking about something that wasn't making me feel good, so the thinking and the feeling started to go down the wrong path. So I recognized that was happening, and I thought, nope, and I pressed delete, and I redirected my mind right onto a positive. And before you know it, I was feeling much better.
Good.
So that's awesome. So
I think delete's the right word for it.
I do too.
Yes.
And the third thing is, if you still have a problem and those negative thought loops are creating that emotional state, learn to control your behavior. It's in that moment when your emotions are fueling your actions that you make the worst decisions. I'm sure I've done it. How about you, Nana? Have you ever found yourself when you're angry and you just blah, and you say whatever pops into your mind and it comes right out of your mouth, and that's not serving, right?
No,
that's when we say the wrong things, and that's when we can't undo.
And then you're sorry, but you can't take it back.
You are sorry. I mean, when you allow those negative behaviors and you blurt out things that are hurtful to the ones that you love the most, it's not okay. Okay? It's just not. And you have got to learn to not do that, because every time you do that, it's a little chink in the armor of your relationship, and your relationships are the most important thing in your life. And
So
sadly,
true.
we have not been taught how to take care of them and cherish them. Most important, the relationship that we have with ourselves, right? Which
Right.
brings us to the fourth tip. If you can learn to control your emotions and your behavior and eliminate all those negative thoughts and learn to stick to the high road and taking good care of yourself.
True, true.
Haven't you noticed after you've gotten really angry with someone, you feel horrible physically
Oh, yes.
and emotionally, because then you become desperate and you want to fix it, right? You want to fix that. And a lot of times, if you've reacted and done something, you can't undo it. And that's not a good place to put yourself in, right?
That is true. That is true.
So for 2017, because we're your expert guides to leading a happy life, we want you to go forward in life and learn these tips. So number one is to stay in the present moment. Don't go in the past or in the future.
future.
Learn to control those thoughts and press delete. Negative, negative, negative. Don't get into emotional behaviors.
No, no.
If you find yourself getting emotional, and I do this a lot, if I find myself getting emotional and worked up, I will take myself out of the situation. Even if it's for 10 minutes, just do a walk around, go in the bathroom, get in the car and go for a drive. Let your emotional state
Yes.
calm
Calm down.
down. And if you stick to the high road, you will avoid a lot of those horrible situations where you just get your feelings hurt. And we don't need our feelings hurt in this life. We need to take good care of ourselves and stick to the high road.
Yes. But we are also human, and all human being makes mistakes. But that is true.
Mistake, and if this happens, just give yourself a break. Say, okay, shake yourself off, get back up, and try again. Try
True.
again. Any new habit, any new pattern, you have to practice it. You have to do it again and again and again. And like Nana said, if it's not perfect, who cares? Just keep trying. And remember to cherish your relationships. And
Oh,
remember
yes.
to be kind and loving. And we hope that this serves you. We thank you for taking time out of your busy day. And we want you to go out and make it a great year. And until we see you again, God bless.
And a happy 2017 to